My little sister was driving under the influence and got into a car crash with me. When I was on the brink of death, my mom, one of the nation's top doctors, refused to save me. She rushed to care for my sister, who only had a scraped knee. In my final moment, I asked to see my mom one last time, but she impatiently rejected me. If he wants to die, let him die quickly. Don't use such cheap tricks to gain attention. She thought I was lying, but when she saw my corpse, she broke down overnight, holding my body and admitting she was wrong. When I opened my eyes, I realized my soul had left my body. I found myself in a hospital room. I called out for my mom instinctively. Before I could see who was around her, I heard Lucy's choked-up voice. Lucy is my sister. I wasn't sure what drama she was pulling this time. She was sitting in a wheelchair, her face stained with tears. Mom, it's not my sister's fault, it's all on me. If only I had stopped her. Hearing Lucy mention me, my mom's gentle demeanor turned cold. Don't worry. Mom will make sure Candy apologizes to you. Driving drunk and causing trouble for you. She must be tired of living. Angry at Lucy's lies, I rushed forward to question her. She was the one who drove drunk, so why blame me? But when I looked up, there was no reflection of me in the window. Seeing my transparent hands, I realized I was already a ghost. I never had much say in this family when I was alive. Now that I'm dead, no one cares even more. But my leg is injured. What about my dance competition next week? I've worked so hard, and now it's all for nothing. I secretly signed up for that dance competition, hoping to achieve something that would make my mom look at me differently, to drop her bias against me. But now, I'll never have that chance. Mom has been investing heavily in Lucy, trying to turn her into a refined lady from a young age. Unfortunately, Lucy just isn't cut out for it. She still acts like a delinquent. Yet now she blames me for not getting a good ranking in the dance competition. Mom, who had high hopes for the competition, was now gnashing her teeth, cursing me. Candy's just a schemer. That country girl grew up with her granny in the sticks, learning all sorts of shady stuff. She's just jealous of you, afraid you'll get first place in the dance-off. Wait till I get home, I'll teach her a lesson. In the hospital room, it wasn't just Mom and Lucy. The top doctors my mom called were there. One doctor, who had been handling my case, cautiously stepped forward. Jason, your oldest daughter just passed away. We couldn't save her. Mom slammed a cup meant for Lucy onto the table. She turned back, furious at the doctor. What's wrong with you today? Why are you siding with that brat? Just now you told me to visit her, now you're saying she's dead? Did Candy put you up to it? Hearing my own mother call me a bastard broke me into tears instantly. In the last call I had with Mom before dying, she called me a jealous liar. I was barely holding on when I called. And in the end, it was all humiliation. I couldn't understand what I did wrong. I only came back because Granny was sick. But why do I have to suffer like this? Hearing this, people couldn't help but wonder how two daughters in the same family could be treated so differently. The doctor who tried to vouch for me stopped speaking. Based on her skills, she could have saved me. But Mom insisted that everyone focus on Lucy. So they paused my treatment. Once all the doctors left, Mom turned back to being the tender mom she always was for Lucy, encouraging Lucy softly, even if you missed this competition, there'll be another. I believe in you. Lucy seemed a bit annoyed, she never liked dancing. But with a mom who wanted a star daughter, she had to comply. To cheer Lucy up after missing the competition, my parents even rented a villa to take her to the countryside for some relaxation. Watching the three of them standing there felt like I didn't belong. Dad's always been a pushover. He knew Mom favored Lucy, so he didn't even ask about me not being there. To him, I was just an optional daughter. He never demanded much, but he always ignored me, even when Lucy bullied me and I asked for his help. Seeing them barbecuing and taking pictures in the backyard, my heart ached. I needed to get away from them, but no matter what, I couldn't be more than 5 meters away. They were captivated by the countryside, surrounded by fields. But this was where I grew up. Over the hill it was Granny's place. Yet even being this close, Dad didn't mention seeing Granny, not to mention Mom and Lucy, who were always at odds with her. While deep in my thoughts, Lucy's voice jolted me back. Mom, is it okay not to bring my sister? What if she gets mad and hates me? Lucy was acting innocent in front of Mom again. Seeing her ploys, I regretted never standing my ground with her. Predictably, Mom, always trusting Lucy, felt pity seeing her so cautious. Why care about her? She nearly got you killed. Go hold her accountable instead. No matter how Candy feels about you, you're dad and mom's only daughter. Hearing this myself, despite readying my heart, I still trembled. Realizing they were talking about me, Mom remembered I hadn't contacted her for days. Her precious daughter was putting on a fragile act. So naturally, Mom wanted an outlet for her emotions. Seeing Mom pick up the phone to call me, Lucy secretly flashed a smug grin. She called a few times, but I still didn't answer, and that put Mom in a bit of a bind. I never dared to ignore her calls before. While swearing at me under her breath, she sent me messages. Her texts basically told me to never come home again, to cut off ties with them. In this house, living feels like being a rat hiding in a sewer. Lucy can always effortlessly win Mom and Dad's trust and affection. My efforts to explain and prove myself just seemed like excuses to them. I remember when I first came home, Grandma and Dad noticed my flexibility and said I had a talent for dance. They wanted to nurture it. Back then, Mom felt guilty for leaving me at Grandma's, so she readily agreed. When Lucy found out, she got all jealous, thinking that the dance class money should be spent on her instead. She was convinced I was there to steal the spotlight. So before Mom could enroll me in a dance class, Lucy accused me of pushing her down the stairs. Even though I cried until my throat hurt, Mom wouldn't hear my side of the story. After that, I realized what my future in this family would be. Lucy would hug Mom, acting all cutesy. Mom, you're the best. And of course, Mom would eat it up, grinning more brightly and snapping pictures of Lucy. Watching all this, I couldn't help but think back to living with Grandma. It left a bitter taste in my mouth. I closed my eyes and recalled the moments Grandma and I shared, so vividly that I could almost hear her voice. Mom, what brings you here? Dad's voice startled me awake, and I couldn't believe Grandma was really standing there. Since I came back, it was my first time seeing her. She looked thinner. I'd wanted to visit her, but Mom always refused. Even Grandma told me not to come, and to focus on adjusting with Mom and Dad. But now, Grandma seemed a bit angry, which was rare. She usually stayed calm, even during arguments with Mom. And you've got the nerve to show up. I watched your car drive past my house without stopping to see me. Usually timid, Dad just looked down in response. Lucy got hurt, so we were just taking her out for a breather. My bad. Mom, never getting along with Grandma, saw a chance to unload her frustration and went off. Especially since I hadn't answered her calls. And you dare accuse us? You have any idea what Candy's done? I should have never let you raise her. You turned her into a mess. Hearing this, Grandma wasn't having it. She might let stuff slide for herself, but not when it came to defending me. Stop talking nonsense. Candy's always been a good kid. Since I got back, I hadn't heard anyone call me Candy in such a loving way. It hit me hard. Lucy, eager to stand out, showed her scraped leg, making it look worse with iodine that made Grandma gasp. Grandma, a few days ago, Sis drove drunk with me, and we crashed. Grandma shook her head. No way, Candy's allergic to alcohol. She wouldn't do that. Mom just smirked hearing this. I just called Candy, and she never answered. Clearly, she's running from her mistakes. How did you even raise her? Grandma didn't even respond to Mom's words. Instead, she got all worked up and grabbed Lucy by the shoulders. You said your sister crashed too. Then where is she? Is she hurt? It took so many days before someone cared about me at all. After all this, my parents didn't bother, and Lucy couldn't care less if I dropped dead. I regret coming home and leaving the one who loved me most, my grandma. Lucy flopped on the floor, pretending to dive, wailing, Grandma, why do you push me? Are you standing up for Sis? Mom snatched Candy up in a rush, really ticked off now. She started pushing Grandma out, ranting all the way. Candy's tough, always faking it with doctors to trick me. You said she'd be a dancer. Good thing I didn't let her. She's better off as an actress, always lying. In Mom's rough hands, Grandma toppled to the ground. I instinctively moved to catch her, but she just passed right through me. Seeing her helpless, it broke my heart, and I hated that I couldn't protect her. Dad tried to help Grandma up, but Lucy clung to him, holding him back. Grandma got to her feet, gave Dad a look full of disappointment and hobbled out. Don't you dare twist the truth. This crash has got more to it. Candy couldn't have done this. I'm getting to the bottom of it. No one paid Grandma any mind as I watched her slim figure leave, clenching my fists hard. I can't imagine what would happen if Grandma found out her precious granddaughter is already gone. She might just pass out. I wanted to follow her, worried sick, but I remained stuck beside Mom, unable to move. Drama queen Lucy, just to skip school, was always whining to Mom about whatever supposedly hurt. Mom took her to the hospital so many times. Anytime I did anything like Lucy, Mom would just let me have it, yelling and then grounding me. To help Lucy get better, Mom would make her chicken soup and bird's nest soup every day. I never got to taste any of that stuff. Lucy, having a nice meal at the table, got up to refill her bowl with chicken soup. With Mom watching, she slowly walked over to my bedroom door. "Sis, want some chicken soup? You gotta be hurting too, right?" Lucy knocked over and over, but no answer. I knew she was just putting on a show. I could tell she wasn't up to anything good. Mom stood by my door, never caring about how I felt. Why bother with her? Just eat it yourself. Giving good chicken soup to her is a waste. Exactly. Mom would never let this soup find its way into my mouth. She'd rather feed the extra soup to a stray dog than give me a bowl. Mom snatched the chicken soup from Lucy and paused before heading downstairs. Turning back, she shouted at the door, "Think you're someone, huh? Not answering your phone, and now hiding in your room. Get out here and do the dishes." I wanted more than anything to come out and explain, to expose Lucy's true colors. But my body was already cold. Seeing no movement in the room, Mom swung the door open. "Playing deaf when I'm talking to you?" When she opened the door, Mom and Candy both froze. The room was empty, with a thin layer of dust on the desk, showing no one's been here in a while. Just when I thought Mom realized something had happened to me and would look for me, she said the most heartbreaking thing. "Wings got strong, didn't they?" Wondering where she's off goofing around now. Thanks to Lucy's constant brainwashing, Mom saw me as just a lazy girl who loved to party. Lucy jumped in to make it worse. The day of the car accident, she was with some guys drinking. Mom got even angrier, went straight for my drawer, and pulled out a box. What's she planning? That box had a jade bracelet Grandma gave me. Lucy had seen it once accidentally, and begged me to give it to her. But since I just got home, back then Mom was still thinking straight and didn't agree. Until Lucy got something more expensive at the mall, she calmed down, but she never really let it go, always testing the waters. Mom handed the box to Lucy. "Take it. It's compensation for Candy's accident." Lucy couldn't hide her excitement, but tried to act chill. "Shouldn't we check with Sis first?" "What for?" "Grandma's stuff should go to Dad, and he'll give it to you." I wanted to grab my bracelet back, but I was powerless. I just watched as it ended up on Lucy's wrist. This overwhelming powerlessness crushed my last shred of hope inside me. I used to hope Mom would see the light, but now I didn't care anymore. Even if she regretted it, what could that fix? The damage was already done. I prayed for God to take me back and let me reincarnate soon. Just as Mom was about to take Lucy out for a day of pampering, Dad rushed back home, frantic. "My mom's in trouble, she's in the hospital. You know folks there. Can you come see if you can help?" Plans changed fast. Though Mom found Grandma a hassle, seeing Dad so upset, she couldn't refuse. The three of us went to the hospital where Mom worked. Mom approached the nurse's station, asking for info about Grandma. The nurses searched but couldn't find her name. A nervous trainee nurse said, "Jason, are you sure of the name? No records in the system. Is there a mistake?" Mom glanced at the nurse, spotting her trainee badge, about to snap when Grandma appeared at the end of a hallway. I worriedly checked Grandma's condition, but she seemed okay, not as bad as Dad described. "Mom, what's this about? You scared us." Even Dad was a bit upset seeing Grandma standing there healthy. Grandma's eyes were red, clearly from crying. "If I hadn't said this, would you all have come to the hospital? Did you know Candy's gone?" True enough, if Grandma had mentioned my death, Mom wouldn't have believed it, thinking Grandma was teaming up with me for sympathy. Hearing what Grandma said, Mom scoffed. "Now it makes sense where Candy got her tricks." She broke down crying. "Why would I lie to you? I'm an old woman. I don't have energy to waste on this. You all killed my granddaughter. Candy's lying in the morgue while you're out there eating and playing. Meanwhile, my Candy's all alone." Even though hospital staff didn't gather around, Mom's colleagues were casting judgmental looks. This embarrassed Mom deeply. She just wanted to escape the scene. "Fine, we'll go to the morgue right now and see your little act." Lucy, who knew how badly I was hurt, tried to stop her, but one look from Mom silenced her. At that moment, her pride mattered most, revealing her selfishness. As we entered the morgue, everyone shivered from the chilling air. An attendant slowly rolled out a stretcher with my body covered in white cloth. "Oh, you two really put on a show." Mom sighed. "What tricks did you use to get the hospital staff to play along with your charade?" My mom, who was used to seeing dead bodies, casually pulled back the white sheet. But in the next second, she screamed and sat on the ground. My face, covered in blood, was right there in front of her. Even though I knew how bad I looked, seeing it again made my heart pound with fear. On the day of the accident, I was just chilling at home. But then Lucy called and said I had to pick her up. I didn't get it. Lucy usually couldn't care less if I was around. She didn't want her friends to see me or admit she had a sister. It was clearly a trap, so I refused. But she threatened me with our grandma, saying if I didn't come, she'd keep calling and keep the old lady up all night. Grandma barely gets any sleep as it is. I figured it was just a drive, nothing would happen. So, I went to the location Lucy sent me. It was a KTV room with a bunch of Lucy's usual friends. As soon as I walked in, Lucy turned to a guy and said, "So, do you like her? You said if I brought a girl here, you'd cover our tab." I was used to Lucy using me this way. She never treated me like a person. Lucy said if I just had a drink with the guy, she'd leave. Then she upped it to staying till 2 a.m., and she talked to Mom about letting Grandma live with me. I hesitated, but for Grandma's sake, it seemed worth trying. I'm allergic to alcohol, but I drank anyway and passed out. The last thing I remember was Lucy pinching my arm hard and saying I was boring. She had me carried to a car and insisted on driving despite her friends' protests. I tried to wake up, but the alcohol kept me out. When I came to, I was barely holding on, lying in a hospital bed. I wanted Lucy to keep her promise, and for Mom to know everything. Grandma's voice brought me back to reality. She was crying, asking Mom what happened. Everything was spiraling out of Mom's control. She was panicking. I didn't think she'd actually die. She remembered the last call I made to her, the one she heartlessly ignored. Lucy knew I'd die without help, so seeing my body didn't faze her. She was secretly happy she'd be the only daughter now, but she couldn't let anyone see her glee. Lucy quickly adjusted, shedding tears, blaming herself to my grandma. "It's not Mom's fault, it's mine. I should have stopped her from driving drunk." To make it more convincing, she kneeled and slapped herself. When she raised her hand, Grandma noticed my jade bracelet on Lucy's wrist. "Why's that bracelet on your wrist?" "I gave it to your sister." Grandma grabbed her wrist furious. Lucy's wrist reddened immediately, and she kept slapping herself, looking pitiful. Mom, terrified, rushed to stop Lucy from hurting herself. Lucy had always been a master at manipulating Mom's sympathy. Growing up with our parents, even though Dad wasn't too harsh, he was still concerned about Lucy. "Mom, stop it. What's wrong if Lucy has the bracelet? She's your granddaughter too. And Candy's gone now. We should focus on her funeral, not fighting like this." I rarely saw Dad this upset, all because of Lucy. Seeing them both defending her, Grandma was powerless to fight for justice for me. In that moment, I saw myself in Grandma, always overshadowed by the three of them. Dad and Mom didn't want to dwell on my situation. They gave Grandma some money to handle my funeral arrangements. They only showed up out of courtesy, shedding a couple of fake tears for the relatives and friends. The dance competition day approached. Lucy had long forgotten about it, but Mom brought it up. "Lucy, your leg's healed up now. Why don't we give it a shot?" Lucy instantly pouted. She had zero interest in the competition. Plus, Mom didn't know she hadn't been practicing. She'd be in serious trouble. Lucy tried every excuse, but Mom was adamant about her entering the competition, driven by a colleague's daughter winning a national violin contest. Lucy was the same age, yet hadn't achieved anything notable in dance. Not wanting to be outdone in front of colleagues, Mom insisted she participate. At the competition, Lucy was prepping backstage. Mom, dressed to the nines, sat in the audience, confident in Lucy's abilities. She'd even started drafting an acceptance speech the night before. Watching from beside Mom, I remembered I could have been on that stage showcasing my talents. Now I had no chance. I'd heard that this year's judge was a famous dance master. A chance to impress her, and become her student had everyone giving their best. Everyone except Lucy, who was still trying to chicken out. Nearby, a group of girls around my age chatted. I recognized a few of them. Did you know? Lucy's here for the competition too. Hearing Lucy's name, Mom perked up. She thought it was all Lucy's friends, and was about to join in the conversation. But each word they said left her shocked. She's barely competent, and is entering a competition at this level? She's really overestimating herself. If Lucy's mom knew she spent the dance class money on a bag, she'd be furious. And I heard her sister's also in the competition. Mom thought it was strange. Either you have the talent or the connections to join such a competition. How did I even get in? Honestly, when I submitted the video to the organizers, it was just a shot in the dark. I didn't expect to be accepted. Her sister? Wasn't she the one Lucy called to the KTV that night? I suddenly realized why the girl looked familiar. They were the same people in the room that night. Yeah, I think her name was Candy. She passed out from an allergy after drinking, and got carried out to a car. Didn't Lucy have a car accident that night? Is her sister okay? She should be fine. Otherwise Lucy wouldn't be here for the competition. The accident couldn't have been too serious. Just moments ago, Mom looked radiant, but her makeup now seemed pale. She turned to the girl next to her. Are you talking about contestant number 8, Lucy? A girl checked the program and nodded. Yeah, do you know her? Mom didn't respond. She quickly left the audience, called the hospital, and asked a doctor for Candy's case file. Soon it arrived. Multiple organ injuries from a car crash and an allergy. Turns out the allergy rumors were true. Mom's hands began to tremble. A lot of things seemed like a fog she couldn't clear. She wanted the truth, but didn't know where to start, because she didn't know me well. Just then, a figure peeked out from the backstage door. Lucy, in her dance gear, was sneaking out to take a call. Stop calling me. I'm about to go on stage. It'll be a mess if anyone notices. Don't tell my mom I was driving that night. I'll send you the money now. While Mom heard everything, she had to face the reality. The Lucy she believed was such a good girl was at the center of all the problems. Mom's heart ached like it was pierced by a needle. Trying not to show her distress, she returned to her seat as Lucy's turn came up. Lucy, having trained in dance from a young age, completed her routine. But in this league, her performance didn't stand out. The girls nearby tossed some sarcastic remarks about Lucy during her dance. Mom's heart hurt, wondering how her daughter, whom she put so much into, became so mediocre. Then the host announced, next contestant Candy. Hearing my name caused shock to Mom, Lucy, and me. No one knew that I was already gone. It was a missed opportunity. Lucy, who just finished her turn, rushed to the stage. Didn't I say my sister's dead? Why call her name? The audience buzzed with chatter. From across the judges' table, Wendy stood up. Everyone wanted to apprentice under her. Wendy gestured towards the big screen. On it played a video of a girl dancing seamlessly with raw talent. It was my submission video. Wendy addressed the crowd. I accepted to judge this event just to see your sister and take her under my tutelage. I've just learned that she died in a car accident a few days back. She was a promising talent. It's a great loss. I wanted to show this video to celebrate her memory. Lucy looked like a fool on stage, her performance worlds apart from the video. The fact that they were sisters made it worse. I glanced at Mom, whose expression was painfully awkward. She realized she had bet on the wrong person. On the way home, Lucy's attempts to talk were ignored by Mom. Her attitude was icy. At the house, Lucy couldn't handle Mom's sudden coldness, having been spoiled by her. She tried her usual way, hugging her arm with a pout. Mom, are you mad because I didn't do well in the competition? If it wasn't for the accident caused by my sister, I would have done better. Unaware Mom knew everything, Lucy's words seemed more and more ridiculous. Mom sighed deeply, filled with disappointment towards Lucy, an expression that stung like a needle. Do you think my sister is better than me? If she hadn't died, she would have been the one you wanted to mentor. Finally, fed up with Lucy's talk about me, Mom lost it. She slapped Lucy. Caught off guard, Lucy fell to the floor just as Dad returned from work and questioned the situation. Do you know what your daughter's been up to? Mom revealed Lucy was driving, not Candy. Lucy assumed she could brush off the competition issue, not anticipating the exposure of the accident story. Memories of a boy calling flashed in her mind. Did he expose her? Lucy cried bitterly, her swollen face soaked with tears. A pitiful sight. She thought Mom had no proof, protesting, "Mom, I couldn't have driven drunk. I've never touched alcohol." Seeing Lucy lie without a blink, Mom had no more faith left. She brought out 2 photos. One of Lucy toasting at KTV, another from traffic footage showing Lucy at the wheel. You could barely see, but even from the blurry picture, it was clear I was slumped in the passenger seat unconscious. Mom then showed messages from the dance teacher, proving Lucy skipped a year of classes. Faced with undeniable evidence, Lucy was speechless. Knowing she was caught, her facade crumbled. "You brought Candy back from the countryside. You promised you'd always love me. But now she's back, she's stealing my affection." Seeing Lucy's honest outburst, Mom was overwhelmed, clutching her chest. "Ask yourself when I've ever wronged you. Even with your sister back, my love for you never changed. Whatever you wanted, I provided if I could. And you drank and drove, killing her." Lucy seemed to unravel, laughing manically. "No, it's not true. Mom, you killed her. You pushed me into dance I hated. And with her skills, you'd have taken everything from me. If she lived, I'd have nothing." Taking a long breath, Mom replied, "You're right. I must seek my own reconciliation with her. The police are on their way. Own up to your mistake." Realizing the police were coming, Lucy couldn't believe it. She tried to flee, but the officers were already at the door. As the police car sirens faded, I knew Lucy would face justice. Turning back, I noticed Mom was gone. From outside came a scream. I rushed to the open window, where I saw Mom lying in a pool of blood. Knowing those who hurt me face consequences didn't bring the satisfaction I imagined. I'd been through too much, maybe ready to let go of the painful past. All I wish for is to find Grandma in the next life and honor her properly. The end.